Good morning, 1,063 times. Good morning to you, good morning to you. We're all in our places with bright shining faces. It's 12:43. It's not in order, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4. When the time has 1, 2, 3, 4 in it, it just makes me happy. Especially, yeah, I have to see it. If I don't see it, then... Right. Right, because I'm sure 1, 2, 3, 4 happens all the time. And I just don't see it, and I don't get that feeling of, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have to spot it, right? I'm good, thanks. How are you? Yes, we are. We are doing good right now. We're just having some water. I'm going to make a coffee here in a few minutes. Yeah, we're going to make our strawberry cake too. No, we never made that yesterday afternoon. We did some classes and there was a bunch of other food and stuff too, so we figured we'd wait and make it for today. Sunday's a good day to make cake, yeah? Every day's a good day to make cake, you're right. There was a time you saw someone eating cake, you'd ask, whose birthday is it? Oh, the glory of modern bakeries. You gotta love it, huh? I mean, just being able to pump stuff out like that on assembly lines day by day, it's great. I am doing okay, thanks. How are you? We were listening to some of that. Hold on, I can bring that up too if you want. Yeah, I was listening to some of that kind of rhetoric and people talking about that. It was this channel too, right here. We were just watching that one. You probably saw I posted that one, so I figured. Thank you. You're welcome. Right, so over the years, with that being ignored with stuff, it is very disturbing. And it's interesting because a lot of people who have been with us, yeah, she said they were going to do this, and she said they were going to do that, and that, and that. Right, and they've just been ignoring a lot of really serious concerns. Before we went to Canada in 2017, back in 2012, and 2008, and a lot of these people in the administrations with the Harrises and Waltz and Obamas and Clintons. Right, so the concerns back then that were still never addressed and how they targeted people and vaccinated our children behind our back and tried to kill us, they've justified that. And that's why we've been telling people, just please, whether you believe it or not, it's okay, it's justified, fine, you tried to kill us, justified, we deserved it. No, it's not. I know it's not. It's absolutely horrible when you look at it. I mean, if you're talking about hardcore criminals and people that have done really horrible things, is it okay then? We have to be able to prove it in court, though, right? Right. Yeah, what's been going on here is very sick and disturbing. And when you look at the child abuse case that they had back around 2012, yeah, just that alone and how that's been ignored is pretty disturbing. It was to us at the time, to be honest with you. It is quite traumatizing, and we do, feel it. So thank goodness we're capable of breathing. When we get into it, and we can get a little angry and you hear that emotions come out, gonna hone it back in. Don't let it get too far gone to the point where your emotions just take control and you have absolutely no control, where you can't speak or function to your normal surroundings. Right. So thank goodness that doesn't happen with us. And we see it happen with a lot of the psychos and freaks that have been protecting the punks who have our children. And it is really sad that you see these people, such as Waltz and others, ignoring and inciting. So hold on. There's a clip here with that one moment.
Where is it?
Sorry, I'm just reading so many different
Campaign
things.
claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Yes.
But I have a strong statement here for our
Morning.
federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this.
Just like
It
they did with the
must
last one.
have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period. Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family
They turn up.
of a 37-year-old Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm concealed permit carrier.
Blah, blah, blah. And when you have people doing these investigations, so say you have people ignoring, and as we said, they would do that, and then they cycle through and they turn it into they feel threatened by us and us speaking about conspiracy theories. As you can see, that's cycled through at least 4 or 5 times. Yeah, absolutely disgusting. Right, it's to the point where most of them have moved on. As you can see, that's what they've been doing all these years, is moving around the world in different places. This stuff's been getting exposed for quite a while. And there's a lot of people that have been banking. Yeah, for many, it's just they feel personally vindicated. That's how a lot of them are getting away with it and getting people to go along with these things. They're sick people. Back in the 90s, we told them they wouldn't get away with it. We told them in 2012 they wouldn't get away with it. Yeah, in the 90s, there was a lot of stuff going on, wasn't there? So that child molester that ended up going to prison, and when we were trying to speak simple things and ask questions, it didn't last long. No, how horrible was that? And yeah, we got pushed down the stairs by a ghost, yeah. I can only, answer so many questions there, so hold on. Yeah, well, some people, you ask the same question over and over again, so if I see it enough times, usually it lets me know this question has been asked at least 5 times. So I try to get to the ones that get asked most of all. Yeah, so you have a lot of people too in these communities where they put pressure on local law enforcement and State Department people to take the children away from dangerous non-vaxxers who are going to kill other people. So that they did back years ago. And they vaccinated our children behind our back in 2013. Yeah, when you look at what happened with the little boy in the tub around that time with these sick people who have my children, it's a good thing. Some people say that. I wonder if we hadn't gotten home when we did and heard that thrashing around in the bathroom and said, hey, what are you doing? I wonder if it would have been worse. I was yelled at and told to mind my own business. What's going on in there? Is everything okay? Not going to whine about water in his ears. If you just give him a washcloth, he's fine. Yeah, and what happened? Yeah, when the little boy went home, the mother saw marks on him and took pictures, and the police showed up. And she took him to court and got no contact, full custody. Right, and then the dog's leg blew up, and I lost use of an arm for months. They vaccinated my children behind my back. And as you can see, maybe the doctors doing some of those things don't see the other stuff. They're just so gung-ho. And when you know some of these people and how much they really love my parents, yeah, when you go back to the 90s and you understand that stuff, and when we told those people they weren't going to get away with it, what were we referencing? Quite a few people, yeah? Right, because the stuff they doctored after the fact with some of the younger kids, making them say things. Remember, that's not true. That wasn't true. And then, the child they were putting that into their head with, and wrote in their diary, they touched me and ruined my life. And it's like, oh my God. Right, and they were writing this stuff in after, so it looked good for court or something, I don't know. And that guy got over 10 years in jail. Seemed like a really nice guy. He was, from what I was only about 10 years old, so from what I remember, he was a dare officer, taekwondo, black belt. Yeah, really, really nice guy from what I can remember. Taught me how to break boards with my head and breathe through my nose. I think stuff with the drug trafficking and other stuff kind of got intermingled. People were complaining about that and people overdosing, and other people were saying it was really cool and awesome and wanted drugs. Yeah, they'd almost do stuff for me so then they could say, hey, I helped your sister, I did this or whatever. Oh, all the time. Right, I know, but then when you don't conform to those lifestyles as time goes on, then doing them a favor would be taking me out, not taking me out, you know? Right, or giving me an extra 5. They're going to give me an extra 5. It all depends on what this thing decides to do as to what would be doing them favors. It's nothing personal. They're feeding their addictions. Okay, so we've been dealing with this stuff our whole lives. Right, so we told them they weren't going to get away with it because when we saw stuff being doctored too, I can remember, even as a kid, just questioning it and saying, I don't think that's true. Right. He wouldn't want to have touched me anyways, right? I remember wanting to watch Garfield, and he was watching wrestling, and I kept putting it on Garfield, and I got mad, and I threw something at his knee, or I hit his knee, I can't remember, and he had just had surgery on it. He had had an injury in one of his tournaments. Yeah, I remember the people at the store, they used to rise my dad, because my dad's a boxer. They would say, oh yeah, the boxer going to get taken out by the black belt or something. You think you could take him, Sonia? Oh yeah, they'd get him going. Strange dynamic how some people seem to, support those things. Others were completely disturbed by it. And so then they made him t-shirts with her in a little bikini all oiled up. And she was only, 15 or 16? I mean, old enough to do that stuff. It was a very provocative picture and probably offensive to those people who were already concerned about stuff going on. Yeah, I know. Same kind of ones that would get upset about the drugs and people overdosing. It got to the point, too, where I'd get upset because, what do you want me to do about it? And I'd get into fights with them. That's why I'm saying both sides, you can all fuck yourselves. They usually wind up joining forces, just so you know. Over the years, I saw a lot of those granolas and people become druggies and dealers themselves. and start working for the state. So, and they really, really, really love my parents. I remember my mom pissing them off big time. Yeah, just disagreements with medications and stuff like that. And of course, the drug trafficking and other stuff going on and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I can remember thinking, you're not going to get away with this. One day, this is going to come back on y'all. I've seen a lot of movies. You let me watch Alfred Hitchcock and all the cool detective movies. Sherlock Holmes. I know people thought that was so funny. I remember that because we were allowed to watch pretty much anything we wanted. Yeah, we had a VCR. We had Phases of Death. We'd watch that sometimes. Well, actually, my sister's boyfriend had brought that over. Yeah, that was pretty bad. And, I remember seeing something in one of those movies. It was this Phases of Death movie, and one of the scenes they were showing people on vacation, like rich people, going and exploring exotic places. Yeah, and they were eating cats and dogs and everything and going from place to place. And this one place served monkey, and they're like, "Ooh, monkey." I mean, I was already kind of disgusted, but I was like, kind of, hey, we eat cows and this and that. You look down at your pet dog. Oh, man. But, I mean, growing up, it was all these different dynamics and understandings with that. When our pet pigs got slaughtered, you kind of have to have that understanding. So they go from being your friends and pets to being on the table. I had a hard time. I remember being upset. In fact, I think Dad said he gave them away. He had to tell us that he gave those pigs away and that this bacon wasn't them. Because I didn't want to eat it. I remember thinking, what if this is Stanley? It was horrible. Well, yeah, I can remember saying to them, I'm not going to get away with this. One day this is going to come back. Yeah, well, usually those people that come in, those open doors where you have people that want to get vengeance and have had rifts for years, and then they're sending in these young kids and activists and people that have their own issues and things they want to profit from, and they're fucking each other over too. Going, oh man. Yeah, just ask people like Elon Musk and David Wilcock and those kind of people. They'll tell you. They're very familiar with the things we're talking about. They know exactly what we're talking about. Do they make them wear a pink shirt and throw a fireball through your window? Yeah, so anyways, I mean, it gets old, doesn't it? It's so stupid. It's really dumb, immature stuff to us. Do we have a... No, why do people ask that? No, we don't have a problem with gay people. It's very strange. We have a problem with people fucking little kids, whether they're gay or straight or Asian, African, Chinese, French. What am I? I believe I'm French, German. I have no idea. My mom is 100% French, and yeah, I don't really know. But no matter what percentage German, French, African, any of that I am, the same laws still apply to me as far as, right, if I steal, kill, what is that? Thou shalt not. Right, well sometimes it's okay though, right? because, well, they just said people kill people every day, right? And it's okay. Justified, right. So thou shalt not kill unless it better be justified, right? You better be able to prove that in court, or what do you expect them to do? Right, we understand that, and that's what we try to get through to other people. Hopefully that helps them understand, too, our anger. We can bring it out at any time. It upsets people, and I guess they're beginning to get into the phase again where they're saying they're concerned about us, and we're talking to ourselves, and we're yelling, and we're swearing, and it's very concerning to them, and they don't feel safe. Right, so we gotta take it easy, you know. Other people can clearly see these games they've been playing with that stuff, so hopefully, I mean, you can't really, again, you can only go by protocol or something, as they say. Yeah, hold on, I see that. Thank you. Right, so a lot of the classes we do and stuff, the ones that they say don't exist. So we've been put on the programs, yeah, since we were 18. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people understand that. Right, and then back in those days with the history and people, can you remember? They wanted us to be put away in jail, and instead we got put on probation and programs. We were teenagers. We had just turned 18. Public intoxication. Had a couple OUIs. It's pretty bad. And not even old enough to drink yet, legally. Right, well, when the parents are saying, hey, they want to and can't control them, and they're telling us it's normal for where we're from. And yeah, the programs really helped us to understand how absolutely insane and ridiculous and dangerous that is. They still don't get it. Yeah, and many people think that that's what ICE is. A lot of these activists and people think that ICE is people like me that were put on the programs and were dangerous criminals. It's weird. I'm like, holy crap, are you stupid?